Seguimos con Clap When You Land de Elizabeth Acevedo. Nos quedamos Camino Yajaira. Tia is angry, whispering over the cordless phone again. She steps onto the balcony as if the short distance will stop me from overhearing. When her call is done, I go sit with her. We rock in unison and don't turn on the porch light. As darkness falls and fireflies flitter over us like incandescent halos. Tia has never lied to me. From the beginning, any questions I asked, she answered, whether it was about sex or boys, healing or the saints. I keep rocking next to her. Sometimes words need time to form. The minutes like slabs building a ramp out the mouth. Tonight, Tia hums under her breath. When she abruptly stops her rocking, I slow my own chair's rhythm. The porch floorboards echo a creak, and it feels like the night is making room for whatever Tia has to say. I smack a mosquito against my chest. My own blood smears on my skin. I'm surprised I didn't notice this thing, and yet I know whatever Tia is going to say may not draw blood, but I will feel it. Tia says, the airline has offered money to preempt lawsuits, $500,000 advance to be split among dependents. That was your tio Jorge on the phone. This is complicated. Tia says, I never wanted to lie you, mija. Your father was a complex man. He had many pieces of himself and many crossroads. Tia says, there is a girl in New York City, your same age, your same features, your same father. This girl was born 2 months after you were. Tia says, your father married hers before he married yours. You can apply for money as one of his dependents, but Zoila, the woman he married, might try to fight your claim. Tia says she, the wife, has connections at the consulate. She's made it difficult for your father to request you. He needed her citizenship papers to help obtain your visa. Tia says a lot more words, but I barely hear any of them. I have a sister. I have a sister. I have a sister. There is another person besides Tia of my blood in the world. A truth you did not want to know can rot and grow mold in the pit of your stomach, can sour every taste you've ever had, can cast a stench so bad you forget you've ever known a sweet thing. A truth you did not want can put a collar around your neck and lead you into the dark, the places where all your monsters live. There is another girl on this planet who is my kin. My father lied to me every day of my life. I am not alone, but the only family I have besides Tia are all strangers to me. I want to put my fingers against my sister's cheek. I want to put my face in her neck and ask if she hurts the way I do. Does she know of me? Would my father have told her? Did she share in his confidences? While the whole, while the whole, while, while the whole while he lied to me? Or is she the only one who would understand my heart right now? If I find her, would I bring would I find a breathing piece of myself I had not known was missing? On Tia's altar there are all sorts of items. A shot glass half full of rum, nine vases of water. There's a bright bouquet of yellow flowers, a small cup of fresh coffee on the floor. Surrounding the altar are photos, a black and white photo of her parents, her father, the fisherman, and my grandmother. A washerwoman from west of the island, my mother's smiling face, Smiles up from the ground as well. Several great aunts and uncles posed stiffly in formal clothing, and underneath the white tablecloth is a stack of bills I've snuck onto the altar. My school tuition is one. It arrives every June, and Papi pays it off in July. It's the charge for my first quarter schooling so I can attend classes in September. The pesitos people pay Tia are not enough. My heart thumps hard. I press a hand to keep it inside. How does an overeducated orphan become an obstetrician in a place where most girls her age become pregnant before 10th grade? But now money is owed to me. Tia says it could be mine. How does a girl, how do I, finish high school, go to college in the US? How do I watch every single one of my dreams flutter like a ribbon of bubbles, popping in the air? I don't. Tia, about the visa and the money. Papi said my papers were in order. Tia is cleaning red kidney beans for a moro. She nods but does not say anything. Would I still be able to go to the States? Tio Jorge could take me in, right? Tia's hands paused, sifting through the bowl. Your father was not bringing you on his papers, mija. He was bringing you on his wife's. It was with their combined income, as well as her citizenship, that your papers would be approved. She would have to sponsor you, for you to attain a visa and the ability to be a resident. From what I know, Zoila is not a forgiving woman, and I think about this wife. I think I am not a forgiving woman either. What's his other daughter's name? I ask. Tia fishes through the beans, picking out the old and wrinkled ones that holds no nutrients. She is silent in her assessment of the good and bad, the ones that are allowed to stay, the ones that must be tossed. I imagine she's plucking through her words with that same scrutiny. Yahaira, your sister's name, your sister's name is Yahaira. 22 days after. Still reeling about this sister, about the money, about my father's secret, I stopped by Caroline's house the next day. The baby is asleep, and Caroline's eyes are tired. But when she hugs me, I almost let myself cry. In the warmth of her arms, even though another crying child is the last thing she needs. We sit on the couch, and she does not let go of my hand. You already seem like a mother, I say, and she laughs, but I'm being honest. My breast, my breasts ache, and I am always thirsty. Camino, a group of girls came by to see the baby. They told me they've seen you at the beach with El Cero. No me digas que es verdad. I squeeze her hand before letting it go. Camino, I would be the last person to judge you, but El Cero is dangerous. I nod. Of course he is. She is not saying anything I don't know. There is a reason my father paid him to stay away. There is a reason he keeps circling back to me. But how can I explain to Caroline something she cannot help me with? It's just like with Tia. Everyone has advice to give, but all I have to offer her are more worries in response. The baby's wail stops me from having to say anything. Just be careful, Camino. Now come and greet your nephew. I ask her if she's giving him a name. The old woman have told me not to, since his breathing is still so shallow, but I've decided to call him Luciano. I hold my best friend's babe, and I hold her hand as well. He's premature, but he's loved. I know both Caroline and I are praying, even though it may seem unlikely, that that love will be enough. When I see, pardon, when I next see El Cero in the neighborhood, I treat him like a stray, feed him crumbs of placating attention that I hope will make him more pet than predator, but will remind him not to howl at my door. He always comes back, pacing near me as I try to ignore him. Today, Viralata followed me to the beach. He sits on my clothes in the warm sun and keeps a lazy eye on El Cero. He's not a good guard dog, but I'm still glad not to be alone. I am packing up my things and El Cero speaks to me. Someone asked me for your address recently, an old friend of your father's. At least he said he was a friend, but I don't think he was a good man. I told him I didn't know. I hear the other words El Cero does not say. I can give your address to anyone. I can call attention to you. What protection? What protection? What protection is a loosely locked gate and no father or man or trained sharp fang hound to stop anyone from breaking entering. El Cero cocks his head when I do not respond to him. He lets a whistle loose through his teeth. From the clearing, the one always that I've walked since I was a child, an older man comes forth. He has a scar above one eye and smells like an open sewer that's been sprayed with cologne. This is the girl, the one you were asking about. Camino, this is a friend of your father's. El Cero hesitates for a second and then grasps my arm. The man looks me up and down, rubbing his chin. I have a few questions, mi amor. Come sit in my car with me. And all of a sudden, I am not sad or afraid. I am rage, bow-tied as a girl. I unfurl, full of fury. I am yelling, and I could not tell you what. I wrench away from El Cero and push the man back hard. My quick motion excites Viralata, who begins barking, drawing the man's attention as I sprint away. Angry tears, the first I've shed, stream down my face. I feel as I swam too close to a stingray. My skin vibrates, electric to the touch. I turn my back on the beach. I run all the way home. I rush home only to remember tonight is a ceremonial night. Tia taught me to dance at the ceremonies, to the drums of the santero. She taught me a person moves not only with their body but with their spirit, to the santeros chanting and the chanting of the others. I watched Tia spin, the colorful beads around her neck wet with sweat. Oh, how her waist bent like a willow tree during the onslaught of a storm. I learned how low to the ground my knees could get, how my back could roll and my chest could heave. My wrapped hair was a plush throne for the spirits to reign for. Everybody knew this was a house blessed by saints, and although a lot of people don't fuck with that kind of thing here, they were always asking for tias remedios and jarabes, for advice and prayer, for assistance with birthing their babies when the doctors were too expensive, or when they'd been told there's just nothing else we can do. And when Tia hosts a ceremony, the crowd outside is legion. She has a touch, they say. She has the saint's ears. Tonight, the santero comes and the practitioners do too. In a small yard out back, the drummers form a circle. Although we are grieving, the song springs forth full of light. There is something holy in the night air. I push the air with my body as if pushing El Cero and his friends. I pray myself free of pain as I spin the circle. I pray myself free of fear as I throw my arms out wide. I pray myself free with head tosses, with bracelets jangling. I pray myself free. Pausa.